So assortment planning and expansion, by now you probably already planned next year's assortment. However, if not, now's the time to make sure you're doing things like SKU rationalization. I see this happen way too little for Amazon sellers, but for a mature retailer, they do this all the time. They're analyzing their SKU performance. They're cutting out what doesn't work. That allows you to reinvest in items that don't. A lot of times Amazon sellers become, what's the word I'm looking for? Emotionally attached is kind of what I was looking for.
Yes, thank you.
Complacent is another one, where, they don't want to give up on their baby. That was their item they created. They want to keep putting money into it, hoping it'll work. If you are just not priced right, on the product, it doesn't have the features, it's a Me Too product, maybe chop it out of your assortment, reinvest in areas that do work. Determine what is that 80-20 rule. How do I reinvest in the items that are really winning? And you're going to find the items that should be doing better in your assortment that aren't. And that's great to figure out what those things are and fix them. But if you've done everything that you should be and they still aren't succeeding, then now may be the time to get rid of them. We're a big fan of virtual bundles. And that is something that we hope that you've tested throughout the fourth quarter, that you've run a bunch of virtual bundles, because it increases your ability to get better placement on search result pages. It gives you some great free real estate on your detail pages. But now's the time to look at those virtual bundles and see what worked. If it's worked well, consider doing a hard bundle. That's going to help you save on FBA fees. And then, also think about, okay, what did the performance tell me? Should I increase the bundle price point? Should I do more multi-packs or more variety packs or whatever, and launch new virtual bundles? Now's your time to start learning to prepare for next, Prime Day or other big event that you may have coming up. Maybe it's Father's Day or Mother's Day. Look at your competitor sales performance, identify as well as your own assortment gaps, and then target new assortment opportunities. Maybe you're selling something that you thought needed to be at a $49 price point, and you found out it needs to be at a $29 price point or $79 price point. You don't have a product to fill that gap, and your competitors are winning on that for you, against you. Now's the time to change up your mix and plan accordingly. I'm a big fan of expanding into new categories as well. You look at Anchor; they started as a brand that only sold battery banks. That's the only thing they sold. Now they sell Bluetooth speakers and chargers and cables and you name it. They're in a very broad assortment of electronics. You look at MyPillow; they started selling simply pillows. Now they sell sheets and slippers and everything else. That oftentimes allows you to weather a storm when you have maybe competitors that are really trying to take a stronghold in one segment of your business, or maybe your opportunity to diversify from one source for where you're sourcing products. So, for example, by changing my assortment into new categories, maybe I can source from Taiwan in addition to China and maybe Vietnam or whatever. Like, mix it up so that you're not sourcing from one place and putting all your eggs in one basket. A lot of companies are moving their production facilities to Mexico. Each area may have a different strength that you can use to your advantage. So, team, what do you got to add to this slide?
I know we're about out of time, but there's two concepts I'll just add in here, in terms of that first bullet. One's called Skew Efficiency, and basically, at a high level, what that means is look at your product lines and, put the number of SKUs for each down, and then look at your revenue, your orders, your margin dollars divided by that number of SKUs. And in general, you will kind of find the sweet spot to your point, Steve, about short-term opportunities to potentially add either depth or width. It's not getting into new product lines, but where you're more efficient is usually, where you can add more sizes, colors, things like that. The other is longer-term product development. is, you look at the industry and you look at your revenue by all your product categories. You look at the industry and you see where you're outperforming the industry and underperforming. Usually where you're underperforming, you have to figure out why, and that can drive longer term product development where you don't have good market share. But you can figure out why and focus on that. So you leverage where you have SKU efficiency, leverage short term where you outperform the market, but make sure you understand where you're underperforming and why and how you're going to course correct that.